Hello, basketball fans. Welcome. Um, so here's the thing. This is like a preamble to the video. I recorded this video Friday night because I wanted to get out to you early Saturday. It's an interesting schedule this week. We got a team playing 2 games, a couple teams playing 5 games. But then Philly has like almost the entire team in COVID protocols, and we don't know if they're even going to get to play tonight, Saturday night's game, which has big impacts on what I talk about in the video for who to pick up and stuff. So I held the video waiting to find out more info. And as of now, we're midday Saturday and we still don't know. So I'm going to put the video out as is, but I want to give this disclaimer because not only is like the Philly situation up in the air for tonight and next week, like Jason Tatum was just announced that he's going to miss 7 to 10 days. And you know what? That's just the year we're going to have, right? Basketball is still fun. We're still going to try and have fun with fantasy basketball. And sometimes these things are going to be wrong. So my advice is going to stand on the schedule. And if these players are available and playing, they're totally worth a look. So I'm going to leave the video as is. And if it changes too much, I'll just make another video for you guys. So feel free, leave the questions. Hey, we just found this out and whatever. We'll get through the season together. We're going to have some fun. I'm going to stop talking and let former Dave start talking. So you're going to get another special hello, but go out and win your week, everyone. Hello! Welcome. I am Dave, DC Hewitt, Fantasy Basketball Analyzer, and thank you for joining me. In fact, so many of you have joined me. The channel is almost up to 600 subscribers, and that's really awesome, and I really appreciate it. If you haven't yet subscribed and you like the video, please do that, and now I'll stop talking about it. All right, so for those who've been coming, every week I've been doing like a schedule breakdown and waivers all as one video. I'm going to try and break it up this week into 2 shorter videos so I can get one out to you a little bit sooner, and we'll talk about waivers tomorrow. If I've released that video, I will link it here right now, but it won't be out yet, depending on when you watch it. So we're getting ready for week 4 of the season. And we're going to start as we start every week where I want to look at the pace and the defensive efficiency for the teams. So I actually ran the numbers 2 different ways. I've been doing the same way as other weeks. Well, here, let's bring it up. So every week I've been doing the pace and defensive efficiency using Hollinger's PER for the pace and, per 100 possessions. It still threw me off a little bit that New Orleans was down here near the bottom because I watched them and they just don't look astounding to me. So I actually changed it up here. I went to Cleaning the Glass. If you don't know Cleaning the Glass, it's a great stats site. And what they do is they cut out garbage time. So when games turn into total blowouts or people are, just heaving the ball at the end of the quarters and stuff, they trim those out of the numbers to try and give you a better stat. So I switched to that and I'm actually pulling in the same pace, but that defensive efficiency, and it didn't actually change the numbers all that much. It shuffled the order a little bit, but it didn't do the kind of the fix, if you will, where I was saying, the best defense is really New Orleans is down there. They're still down there. They're not as good, as I changed to this. So I'm going to use these numbers now as a little bit more accurate to help us kind of piece it together. But if you look at New Orleans in particular, their pace and their defense, neither of them are like the elite. And yet somehow still their average means that they're probably not one of the best fantasy teams to go against, at least the way they're playing right now. I mean, their defense is good. Like based on the numbers, I looked different ways to try and check this for you guys. And they're ranked 9th overall in total defense. And so that's what the numbers are. And fantasy is a game of numbers. So I'm not going to change that too much. All right, enough about New Orleans. Up at the top, they are who you expect. We got Minnesota, we got Chicago, Washington, Golden State, Portland. They're fast-paced teams and or not great defenses. In some cases, both. I mean, Minnesota is rough right now. I mean, I didn't really expect them to have a good defense anyway, but they're just a rough team all around right now. If you are a T-Wolves fan, my condolences. I'm a lifelong Bulls fan, so I understand how it is to be stuck with a rough team. All right, so we're going to take those numbers and we're going to go apply them over to the week 4 schedule. If you're looking at the schedule, the first thing that should jump out at you is we've got 2 teams playing 5 games, and that's a big swing. It's huge if it's a weekly locks league. That means you got to plug in players that you normally wouldn't get in there. But even without that, if you're streaming, you get like extra game or two, depending on what you're doing. In fact, Minnesota only plays 2 games, which makes their players basically unusable in a weekly locks league. So you can go ahead and, Naz Reid or whoever you picked up filling in for Cat and stuff, they're not going to cut it if you're lacking. But even if you're streaming, like, it's not so great. I should slow down. I'm so excited about the 5-game week. It gives you this edge that I'm jumping ahead. Minnesota only has 2 games. They play Memphis for both of them. If we look at strength of schedule, Memphis is dropping down there. They're not necessarily one of the teams you want to attack anyway. So it's not like I'm saying, oh boy, they only have 2 games, but they're both against Washington or Chicago. Go after them. Like, it's probably sit all of your T-Wolves. Now, from the 5-game side, if it's weekly locks, like, you can plug in guys like Danny Green, who's available in 80% of leagues. So he's widely available. And this is like something I used to do manually at home, when I first started playing fantasy basketball, whatever, 17 plus years ago. I used to sit down with an index card and like multiply it out of like Danny Green's averaging this many points and this many steals multiplied by 5. And is those 5 steals more than, 3 games of LeBron James? Oh, maybe I need that for categories. So I wanted to get this video out to you sooner this week because there might be a real advantage here if you want to pick up some players, even if you're in daily change, that you can just burn through and run up some games in your head-to-head matchups. So I was talking about Philly. Seth Curry is out. He's, as of recording, I'm recording this Friday night. You're seeing it when you see it. Seth Curry's out and because of positive COVID tests, which means he's automatically going to be out for 10 days or until he gets 2 negative tests, whichever comes first, which means this week you can probably pounce on it. Last night is when the test came up. Last night as of recording, Thursday night, I should say. So Shake Milton's numbers jumped up to 36 minutes because he was started in place of Seth Curry. And he got 24 points, 1 rebound, and 7 assists. Shake's ownership went up because of that. He's owned right now. He's rostered in 33% of leagues, but that still makes him widely available, and you can get him for 5 games. If he's not available in your league, you might want to take a look at Tyrese Maxey. He got the extra minutes. He became the 6th man off the bench, and we only have 1 game to look at right now, but coach sounded happy with him. He had a pretty solid game, and, you're not tripping over yourself to play 6th man all the time, but if you get 5 games out of him, he could be really useful. And like I said, I'm recording this on Friday right now, so you're going to get another game this weekend. I think Saturday night they play again. You'll get to see what Maxey does in that before you have to really make any of those decisions. But if you got a spot, you might want to try and grab, Shake, Green, or Maxey with the 5 games. The other team there is Indiana. Now, Indiana doesn't maybe have as many waiver claims, but they've got 5 games. So go ahead and take a look at that. I'm going to do the separate waiver show as usual. And if I run the numbers and anything more jumps out at me of, oh, here's a sneaky pickup, then I could give you a shot. But a lot of Indiana players are owned, right? Both the big men should be owned. I think Holiday's pretty widely owned right now. Oh, I was wrong. I just checked the numbers. Justin Holiday's actually pretty widely available. He's only rostered in 21% of leagues. In the last game, as of recording, he got 20 and 5 with 5 threes. If you can get 5 games out of that, if it's that's not his averages, but there's 100 points and he's available on the waiver wire. Be careful. There are 2 Holiday brothers in Indiana. So Justin Holiday, the shooting guard small forward, is more of interest if you're trying to pick someone up to plug them right in to take advantage of Indiana's 5 games. Those are the 2 teams with probably because of the whole extra game, but also they've got a pretty decent schedule. I mean, Indiana gets Sacramento, Golden State, Portland. I guess I should mention that Golden State, right now they're still the team to attack, although getting to see Draymond back there and pointing and hollering and telling people where to go on defense, and just doing all the little things that Draymond does. The team looked real different when you got to see Steph and Dre back. It was exciting for me as a basketball fan to see it. But I also wouldn't be shocked if this changes a little bit. But they also have, Wiggins and Wiseman's a rookie. So it might not change as much as we think it's going to. So I've got that sheet up. You can pause the video, check it out, or I'll include the link down below, and it'll be there all week. So you can always come back to this and check it out if you want to. Let's switch over and talk about back-to-backs. So for back-to-backs, I kind of already hit you with the big news of the 2 teams that play 5 games play back-to-back twice, which is why all those guys I'm talking about picking up for Indiana, are a real good chance. Even if you picked up Holiday and tried him for 2 games for Indiana and you wanted to cut him and get a different streamer for later in the week, you start off the week with 2 back-to-back games. That's pretty great. Beyond that, like, it's worth noting, you've probably already heard, but if I'm talking about back-to-backs, we kind of have to talk about Kawhi. Kawhi played in a back-to-back game, guys. He played in a back-to-back game. I'm not trying to be over-the-top ridiculous, although I am a little, but it's the first time in 4 years Kawhi Leonard has played in a back-to-back game. If he could do that, that changes his ownership, like, for his value, not his ownership, because he's owned everywhere, but it changes his value a lot. You know, if you're in a weekly locks league, he's still worth owning, even when he was resting. But now if there's that chance, that glimmer of hope that he's going to play, it's really going to go up. So last year he finished in the top 10 in total, like, fantasy points, if you do it by categories, even with sitting all of those back-to-backs that he did. So if he's not going to sit all of the back-to-backs, then that's really exciting for all the Kawhi owners out there. So keep an eye on that. Well, talking about resting for back-to-backs, I should mention this. Washington, who Russell Westbrook's been sitting on back-to-backs, no back-to-backs this week. They've got 4 games, but they're all spaced out, so that makes you pretty optimistic. I mean, Cleveland at the end of the week is actually a back-to-back rolling into next week, so maybe that's something to keep an eye on in case he rests the first leg of it. But they are spaced out, so you don't have to worry about that too much. And then Houston. Houston has John Wall, you know, the other side of that trade. They only play 3 games, so they don't have a back-to-back on either end. So if John Wall's playing, you should be good to go there. The other team I normally talk about when I'm thinking about back-to-backs is Brooklyn, right? Because they've got KD and Kyrie, and they're going to be resting those guys. They're both coming back from injuries. But right now, KD's not even eligible to play yet. He may be in the middle of this week, but he's on the health and safety list. And then Kyrie... So there is a back-to-back, but there's already the weird thing right now that Kyrie took some personal days and missed some games. He's going to miss 2 games here this week. So recording this now, Friday night, when he's about to miss the second of a back-to-back, I don't know what it's going to be like for next week. You're probably good to play. You'll know more in the future when you are watching this than I know right now recording this. But those are kind of the teams I track for the back-to-backs. And then we'll just have to make a whole, like, video about the back-to-backs. So that's all I got for you right now. We're talking about the schedule specifically. I'll come back and do another video that we'll put out tomorrow talking about waivers to pick up besides some of these schedule guys I talked to. So there will still be some streamers in there and maybe some more season-long options to take a look at. Please leave a comment if you liked it, the shorter version, if you like it all together, if you like it coming out on Saturday, or you'd rather I wait till I had more info. Give me some feedback on this. I love engaging with you guys. You guys have been leaving comments, and I've been answering as many as I can, and I really appreciate it. So thanks for watching, and go out and win your week.